Hello there guys, and welcome back to Warlock, Master of the Arcane. So, what have we got at the moment? We have our main city, which we started with. We've got an extra city that we founded. We've got Doomford here, which we nicked off this fellow. And we just recently captured Minotauros, which should give us eventual access to... Goblin's Guild. So this one is a monster town. So this is what I was saying about if you capture a town or a city that belongs to somebody else, if they have a different type of unit because they are a different faction, you'll be able to build their units. Well, we made all of our plays at the last video, so we'll just hit end turn and let things continue on. Yeah, we knew we were going to lose that caravel to that little sea beastie. Never mind. We shall build another and use it to explore. And we've got some healing going on over here. So the first thing I want to do is we're going to go over here. We're already building a caravel. That's brilliant. Not too much to worry about there. So let's let that continue. Once our borders start to expand, you can see we've got some pumpkins here. Pumpkins give us a lot more food, I believe, as do pigs. And there's some more pumpkins here as well, which we can probably get those as soon as we've... are we constructing anything? Pumpkin farm. Insufficient population. So we need a bigger population to build the pumpkin farm. And we'll be able to put that there. Population at this city at the moment is only 1. And it is growing. You can see these little green... sort of this green circle starting to fill up. So units want orders. I think these guys can move out just a little bit... maybe even up here. Just give us a bit of better vision. And that'll be enough. We're not at war anymore because we did declare peace.
It appears there is another great mage in these lands.
Okay, so we have met somebody else.
You know that I have come here to rule.
Okay, so this is Malinel Zocchi, possibly. This guy's playing the monsters, so these little red dudes here are his. We can see his borders. Obviously, he's attacking this little place here. Now, it'd be nice if we could get that, to be honest, because this is an undead town. So capturing that would actually be quite nice. So with that in mind, I'm actually going to start moving my units up. I don't want to get to a point where I've got nothing to defend down this end. So we should be okay. I don't want to get into a direct fight with him, but it would be nice to be able to... yeah, he's backing off now. But these are neutrals, so we shouldn't have too much... Right, they're firing at me now. That's a little harsh. Now, they are undead. Chances are... if I just have a little right-click here... the skeletons are immune to death magic, and my shadow bolt is death magic. So there's no point me trying to shadow bolt them. That won't do any damage at all. But we're going to try and take this unit out as much as we can. Stay out of range of the city. Oh, they're rogues. They can't hit from that distance. I thought they were my other archers. That was a little bit silly. Let me just move those back a square again, or a hex. So that should be enough to still be able to fire on them, and indeed we can. Not doing an awful lot of damage to them. We can hit them with fireballs though, that's not too much of a problem. We have the mana to do that. Didn't do as much damage as I would have liked. Let's hit them with another one. And that was a crit. Okay, so that's got them down quite low now. So there is a possibility we could take that.
Ready about.
So we now have our caravel. Now, I've got to be careful because we don't want to end up getting taken out by that sea serpent again, though it will still be down there. Nice interesting hex there. We have a gold resource, and we also have donkeys, but we can't get to them at the moment. One thing that is a little bit strange on this game is when your city borders grow, if it got to a point where the borders of this city actually grew onto this island, I'd be able to build... upgrades on this land which would still be connected to this city, so it does work even if you do expand across water. Isn't an awful lot more I can do at the moment. These early turns always seem to end up like that. So let's go on to the next turn anyway. I think we're already a fair bit larger than the 2 cities that we've come across so far. Or the 2 other mages that we've come across so far. Now, he's got some settlers here. I don't know where he intends to send them. He doesn't have an awful lot of room down here to be able to do anything really with them. He could be taking them down here. That seems like a silly place to settle if he does, but I'm not too bothered. I got what I wanted, which was the silver resource that is here. So, we're going to continue again shooting at these skeletons. Now, there is somebody also attacking from the top of the screen. I don't know who that is. It could be the guy, the red guy, or it could be somebody else. So we are going to give these guys some resistance to magic. They've already had their turn though, sadly. Now I don't really want to attack with my rogues because I'm going to put them on to heal, get them healed up. They can only do melee damage, which means they're going to be right under the city, and I don't want them taking damage just yet. It's a little bit too early. So we're going to go in with the double fireball hit. Assuming we need the double hit. Yeah, I think the second hit will probably kill that skeleton, which would be useful. Okay, brilliant. At least that means that it is now completely wiped out. There's a useful magic node there as well. So if we can capture this this town, at least we would have a undead possibility. We'll be able to build undead units. In the meantime, I'm going to keep exploring with the caravel. Just wondering if it's worth my while having any more military units out. It probably is. I can't build any units here at this city yet. Or at Doomford. In fact, the only place I actually have where I can build any sort of units is at my main city. So we're going to build some warriors. In fact, I think we'll have... Yeah, I'll just get the one lot of warriors for now. I don't have an awful lot of food or gold coming in. So let's end the turn. Again, very similar to the... Oh, what's that? You have received a demand. This is very similar to the issues that you have on Civilization, where during the early game you don't tend to make a lot of growth or a lot of movement on each turn. So we've just...
I will speak to you.
So, this guy here... Now, this is the way that... I hate to call it diplomacy or trade works in this game. Well, trade, no. Diplomacy, basically, you make a demand of someone, and if you refuse, you have 2 options if someone makes a demand from you. You can either accept, or you can go to war. Those are the only 2 options. I'm not going to give him half of my gold and a spell. I'll go to war. Doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to have to deal too much with him. And war only lasts for a few turns before you can declare peace. So it's quite possible that I could very easily just go, well, yeah, okay, I'm not going to meet your demands, go to war, and then 5 turns later, declare peace, and then nothing will happen for 5 turns, and he'll make another demand, I'll tell him to get lost, we'll go to war again, the whole process will rinse and repeat. So, we can build something else here at Doomford. We might as well go for the Silverwork Armory. I mean, that's kind of the reason we took this. So the Armory will take 3 turns. It costs 1 gold to upkeep, and it will give us silver weaponry for our warriors and our hunters. So let's build one of those. I've got a feeling that's probably going to be more useful against werewolves, but it's nice to have nonetheless. So units need orders. Well, these guys are healed up. So I'm going to get them to move a little bit closer over here. Give me a little bit better vision. We've also got another mage up there. So that's I think there's only 4 players, including myself. So that's our final opponent. He may well be the guy that's actually attacking them from the north. It's quite possible that that's what it is. Now, unfortunately, if I want to be able to attack this city with my archers, I'm going to have to move them within range. Let's summon some imps. We haven't done that yet. So we can summon imps. And there we go, we now have an extra unit on the field. And they're pretty weak. They cost 2 mana per turn just to keep on the field. Their attack is elemental damage. And that's pretty much it. They're very, very cheap. So, they do have some resistance to life magic. I can never remember which way it works with this. If that's I think, yeah, positive number is a resistance, which means they take 75% less damage from life magic. If it was a negative number, if it was red, they would take extra damage from it. So they're not completely resistant to it. But we're going to leave them there for the time being. Oh yeah, we've got our caravel as well, so let's carry on exploring. Okay, so we've already learned that we can't really take out these sea serpents with the caravels. So let's try and get away from it a little bit. Once it actually leaves its nest, we could actually take the nest, and that would then stop it from being able to respawn. And we get the freebies from the nest, which is often worth doing because it's usually worth more than the caravel itself. So I might sacrifice these guys, actually. I might just sort of send them in and just get them to attack. See if we can whittle down these skeletons a little bit. I was expecting to come off worse there, so that's not too much of an issue. I can cast one more fireball. Oh, no, I can't. It's going to be on the next turn. But if you try and cast a spell that will cost more than one turn to cast, or in this case, it costs half a turn, but I'd already cast another spell, so it wasn't going to complete this turn. It runs over into the next turn, so you can cast spells that take multiple turns to cast. We still have another mission to build a harbour, so we must make sure that we try and do that at some point. Keeping my eye on that sneaky git down at the bottom, because I'm not too sure what he's trying to do. Okay, so we've got some things that have happened, or are happening here, which are useful to us. So the first thing is, our spell is ready. So let's rain it down on the skeletons. Now the great thing about this here is that these skeletons have actually come forward because they were attacking our imps, which now means that my archers can get in range of the skeletons without actually getting in range of the town. So that did actually work out quite nicely for us. So that should be the skeletons wiped out. Really, he survived that. I've got just enough mana left for one more fireball. So that should finish him off. There's the skeletons gone. Brilliant. This place is now unprotected. We're still at war with this guy, so we've got to be careful there. So this is the first offer that we've got of what is essentially a hero. That's going to cost me 150 gold to hire him. I don't have to hire him straight away, but he's only going to hang around for 9 turns. If I don't hire him within 9 turns, he will leave anyway. You can have up to 4 heroes, and I don't have any at the moment. He is a fighter. So he is a melee hero. He's got very good resistances to melee missile, brilliant resistance to life magic, some to death magic. So this guy might be quite useful. As we haven't got any better options at the moment, I'm going to hire him. Now, as you can see here, he has some equipment slots. He has an armor slot, he has magic items slot, well he actually has 2 armor slots. Some of them can also take weapons as well if they're ranged. You can also get healers and I believe mages as well. So we're going to hire him for now, which we have done. And he will appear on the battlefield, usually near our capital. There he is, as you can see. Big, massive giant of an ogre. So we're going to move him further to the front lines, and he's going to be able to help out with the attack that may be coming from the red guy. Not too sure what these guys are trying to do down here. Running short on food, which is a little bit of a problem, and our research per turn is still quite low as well. But we do get to construct another building down here at our capital. Now, we've got a number of options that we could do. We could build a smithy, which would cost us 2 gold per turn, which we can afford. And it would give us more armor for our fighters and for our hunters. There again, we could really do with getting some more food. But there's a limit to what I can do here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for the smithy. We will take the upgrade. And then hopefully we'll be able to produce some food at one of our other cities. So we can construct something here. We should probably go for a granary, to be honest. Put it somewhere that doesn't give us a food reduction. Well, they're all pretty much going to do that. So let's pop it up there. Should have built the other harbour there, really. But, oh well. If we don't manage to do that mission, then we don't manage it. It's not too important. These guys I'm going to leave here for now. I don't see any point in sacrificing them on this turn. So just put them on alert. Oh, we've got our caravel again. I don't suppose our little sea beastie friend has moved. No, he hasn't. There's another one there. So as you can see, this is quite problematic. Don't really want to get too close to them if I can help it, but let's take a pot shot anyway. We don't do a lot of damage to them, although we did get a crit there, which is quite nice. Can't really get away from it at the moment. If it does come closer to us, but it can attack from that distance, we could potentially attack it from our city, but we'll see what happens there. Okay. So I'll explain what just happened there, if it doesn't explain it automatically for me, which it probably will. Caravel takes a hit from the Sea Serpent, which we expected it would. Okay, right, so what have we got? So somebody has captured a city somewhere else.
Warriors.
We have some more warriors. Now, did one of those things appear in our borders? Don't actually think it did. Ah, yes, two of them did. There's one there, and there's one there. These lost caravans. So, every now and then, randomly, you will either get, like, lost caravans that appear, which are just like, sort of ancient ruins that you can loot and just give you free stuff, or you will get neutral creature, or monster creatures spawn. And luckily, we haven't got one of those, but let's nab that. And that's nice. That gives us 50 gold. Now, this is a guy that's at war with us, but he hasn't attacked us directly yet, so let's keep well out of his way. We've got 2 moves left, so let us start firing on this place. I want to be careful. I don't want us to take too much damage from it, because we don't have a huge amount of resources to replenish our units should they die. Don't even really have enough mana here to cast a spell, so I've got to be a little bit careful there. Caravel's taking a bit of a pounding, so I'm going to move the caravel back down here, and hopefully if this thing chases us, we might be able to take a shot at it with our city. I'm going to leave him there for now. You guys can also stay on... Actually, I'm going to move these forward. The reason I'm going to move them forward is... Actually, can I move them to there? And then we should be able to meet this guy. That still hasn't happened yet. Yeah, yes it has. Brilliant. So, who have we got this time? Okay, so we've got one of the elves. So this is one of the guys that was added in the expansion. So, recruiting is complete. Idle unit requires orders. You're still standing there. So, can you actually get any sites? Is there any near you? You can't get to that quick enough, so let's get you over here. So, the main reason that I've moved these rogues further forward is because it gives the city one more sort of unit to target. It can only target one unit at a time, so it lessens the chance that he will actually attack my important unit, which is my hunter.
Successfully researched a new spell, my lord.
Okay, we've got a new spell, which is great. 50 more gold from that. Haven't quite got the movement to get across to the other side, but that is something that we will do. Caravel is going to heal up a little bit. So, research complete, which is reconstruction, and this basically heals a non-living unit. So, it will work on undead, and it'll also work on buildings. So the yellow guy and the red guy is now at war. I'm not going to remember names, so I'm just going to call them like yellow guy and red guy. That's going to be it. Summon ghost wolves. That could be quite good. Costs 25 mana. Does cost 2 turns to cast. Summons ghost wolves. A unit of ghost wolves to the selected hex. Yeah, let's go for that. Why not? I still haven't learnt the tech tree yet, so I'm just basically learning stuff at random. It may or may not really be useful to do things in the order that I'm doing them, but oh well. So let's move him up. Get him in a good position. Now, we've learned now that the red guy and the yellow guy are at war with one another, which is fine. Can we get out of war with him yet? So, as you can see, he's got the little swords down here, which says he's at war. This is the thing I was talking about before, where if you do things for a certain god, you get closer to them. I mean, I haven't really done any missions for any gods, so at the moment I'm sitting right in the middle of this little circle. Now, the Grand Librarian is moved over to the left, which means that he is in favour of Dauros. So he's obviously done some missions, or some quests, whatever you want to call them, that were for Dauros. And by doing that, his allegiance grows closer to Dauros. Which means his allegiance to Fervus, who's the polar opposite, actually becomes less. As you can see, minus 29. So, what would happen is if he were to get all the way across here, he would be so hated by this god would send an avatar to the world, and it's destroying that avatar that allows us to try and get a victory condition. We're going to speak to this guy. There we go. Great Mage does not wish to speak to you now. Turns remaining 2. Now, normally when you offer peace, they pretty much always accept, in my experience, what I've seen so far. So, in 2 turns, we should be able to ask for peace, and he will most probably turn around and go, yeah, that's fine. Until he makes another demand. But there again, he is fighting with the yellow guy at the moment, which gives us a bit of extra help. So, just because I've got it, I'm going to drop another fireball on there, because every little bit of damage is going to help. Going to get these guys to rest up. They can't do an awful lot on this turn. Ah, that's a bit problematic. Oh, you complete and utter gimp. So what actually happened there is the place that I was going to take has now been taken by Mr. Elf Guy, which is not very nice. Well, tough luck for him, because I'm going to take it back. Received a demand from the librarian. Well, you can go and do yourself. We can construct another building here at Mintoros, and I think what I might do is go for a pumpkin farm, because that provides a good deal of food to us. So, we're going to have to go to war now with this guy, which now basically means I'm at war with everybody, but ho-hum. So, we're going to attack this place here as much as we can.
No escape for you.
Still going to be very, very difficult to take it out. I'm going to leave this guy down here as a bit of protection. These guys are going to try and go in. It's maybe a little foolhardy because he does have units all around. But they have been forced to retreat, which means that I have now captured the building. Now that spell that allows me to heal buildings costs 40 mana, so unfortunately I cannot cast that on this turn, which is a bit of a shame. Could I get to you on this turn? Probably not, but I am going to move up over here. Because that means he's in a better position. I can construct a building here as well. So what have we got here that we could construct? Let's go for a mana... What is that there? Is that anything? There's something there on the map, but it's not telling me what it is. It just says Barren Plains. So, okay, fair enough. We will construct a mana trap, because we are starting to use spells a bit more. We do need to try and get out of war with people, though, relatively quickly, if we can. We're going to end the turn, and that will be the final turn for this video, at least. Looks like there was some spell casting going on there. Okay, it looks like there's a lot of backwards and forwards changing of hands with this place here, because they keep moving units into it. Maybe somewhere that we just have to leave for now and try and take later. I'm just at war with too many people at the moment. But I would rather like this particular sort of base. I can't really do an awful lot else there at the moment. Let's get these guys on here if they can on this turn. That's another 30 gold. Wasn't quite as much I was hoping for. Let's start moving them down here for a bit of defense, because we do have these yellow guys heading our way. So I'm going to move you down here, ready to deal with these guys, because I think they're going to sneak in for an attack. This is probably suicide, but let's try it anyway. Don't think we have the power to take them out. No, we didn't. That was a little bit of a shame. But I will go for a 8 death magic versus 5 elemental magic. What resistances do these guys have? They have 20 resistance to elemental magic and 20 resistance to death magic. So it doesn't matter what I hit them with, they got the same resistance to it. So I might as well hit them with the Shadow Bolt, because the Shadow Bolt does more damage anyway. So they did resist it a fair bit, but it did quite a bit of damage to them. I'm a little bit disappointed they got that, because I would quite like that city, but I don't want to be at war with all 3 of these mages throughout the entire game. That's the problem I've got here. So I'm going to have to play a little bit more defensively now. I'm going to carry on trying to get this just because I want the ability to make undead units, but if that doesn't work out for me, I'm just going to leave it at that and just stop going to war with people. So I think that's the end of that for that video. We've done quite well. We've expanded a little bit. We've got into a bit more combat, which I said is the main focus of this game. So thanks again for watching, guys. And again, even though I am only just learning this game, if you do have any questions, pose them to me. Drop me a private message or leave it in the comments, and I'll do my best to answer it for you. I might not know the answer. I might try and experiment or try and look it up. But again, if any of you guys have played this game, or you have any experience with it, and you have any ideas, tips or suggestions, or things that might be helpful to me, by all means, post comments or send me a message and let me know those as well. So until next time, goodbye for now.